This dude is without a doubt the baddest dark hero ever. His head's a flaming skull, chains wrapped tight around his chest, and fire blazing all around. Just locking eyes with him can send you straight to hell. He's the Ghost Rider. He lets out a whistle, and his ride rolls in like a boss. He touches it, and flames melt that thing down, only to be reborn into the most badass spirit chariot you've ever seen. Flames licking all around, a giant skull up front. The Ghost Rider hops on his hog, revs it up, and takes off, leaving a trail of flames in his wake. Now, the Ghost Rider didn't just wake up with all this power. Back in the day, Johnny was just a stunt driver, putting on a show with his old men every dang day. Their skills were so great, had the crowd screaming for more. But then, Johnny's pops, chain smoking for years, ends up with cancer. And then, out of nowhere, this mysterious old geezer shows up. The old dude turns out to be Death himself, leaning on his crutches, offering Johnny a deal. He'll cure his dad in exchange for Johnny's soul. And just like that, he pulls out this contract. Blood drips onto it as Johnny's caught off guard. Before he can even think twice, the deal's sealed.
Oh, that'll do just fine.
Next morning, Johnny wakes up to find his old man looking healthier than ever. He immediately understands that the old dude came through on his end of the bargain. Dad's back to his healthy self. Johnny's got no more worries, so he runs off with his girl. But then, while Dad's performing, there's an accident. By the time Johnny gets there, Dad's already gone, and Johnny's left crying his eyes out. Suddenly, Johnny sees the old dude again and takes off after him on his ride. But at the crossroads, Johnny wipes out. That's when the old dude shows up. Johnny accuses,
You killed him.
But the old dude's quick to counter. The deal just made him healthy again. It didn't promise immortality. Johnny swings his fist in anger. The old man bamps behind Johnny, channeling some mystical mojo into him.
You're mine, Johnny.
Once the power transfer's done, Johnny drops to his knees. By the time he collects himself, the old man has vanished into thin air. On his way back, Johnny spots his girlfriend waiting, but knowing he can't drag her into his mess, he quietly slips away. Fast forward 10 years, Johnny's now a top-notch stunt driver, fearlessly tackling any extreme sport that comes his way, all thanks to his newfound immortality. Since striking a deal with the old man, Johnny's life hasn't been his own. The sky suddenly goes nuts, rain pouring down with flames sizzling as they hit the ground. Out steps this pale dude. He's the old man's son, Blackheart. Blackheart strolls into a bar and wipes the floor with everyone. Blackheart summons his 3 top dogs, Gressel, Wallow and Abigor. The 4 demons are here for the old man's contract. Get that, and they've got the whole world. Johnny's doing an interview, only to find out the reporter is none other than his girlfriend. He's on his motorcycle, chasing her down, determined to win her back. Finally, he's preparing a date, but he notices his palm is blazing red, and no amount of water can cool it down. Instead, it just sends up clouds of smoke. The mysterious old man tracks Johnny down and demands he fulfill the contract. Destroy Blackheart, promising to return Johnny's soul in exchange. But Johnny refuses.
Find him yourself.
The old man's skeleton cane hits the ground, and suddenly, Johnny's motorcycle revs up to over 10,000 RPM, billowing white smoke from its tailpipe. The ride goes haywire, dragging Johnny along for the ride. Car windows shatter one by one as the ride picks up speed, flames licking from its front wheel. Trees go up in smoke, leaving a blazing trail on the street. Cars ignite as they pass. Even the speed-trapped cops can't dodge the flames. Wherever Johnny and the ride roll, it's like a firestorm's on their tail, covering everything in flames. The ride barrels ahead, finally screeching to a stop at a warehouse. Then, with a quick flick of its tail, Johnny is thrown through the air. This is Ghost Rider's first transformation. Smoke pours from his eye sockets. Johnny struggles to stand, covering them. His hands undergo a grotesque change, his feet ablaze with hellfire. At that moment, Johnny endures temperatures over 5,400 degrees Fahrenheit. Each step ignites a roaring trail of flames in his wake. In agonizing pain, he screams skyward as searing pain consumes every inch of his burning skin. From the baptism of hellfire emerges Johnny, now a blazing skeleton. This marks his first transformation. Blackheart claps his hands and approaches. Johnny throws down a tough talk. In an instant, Abigor strikes from behind, hurling himself at Johnny, and Abigor collides with the chain trailing behind Johnny. Blackheart erupts in laughter, confident that the Ghost Rider is no match. Suddenly, Blackheart's expression changes. Johnny is engulfed in hellfire, ripping the chain down. He strides toward Blackheart. The Ghost Rider steps into the puddle but can't budge an inch. Upon closer inspection, turns out it was Wallow's doing. Suddenly, a truck comes rushing, slamming into him with great force. Blackheart mocks, thinking Johnny's toast. Gressel taunts as he gets off the bus.
He ain't so tough.
As Gressel is about to bail, a fiery hand grabs his shoulder. Gressel barely spins around before Johnny's chain-wrapped fist sends him sailing 30 feet. The hellfire's roasting his face, and he's quick to beg Johnny for mercy. Johnny ain't buying it. He swings out with the hellfire chain and hogties Gressel. Gressel's screaming as the hellfire turns him red-hot. He's yelling for backup to his buddies, but the other demons have already ghosted. The hellfire keeps blazing as Gressel's body turns from pale to blackened. As the chain loosens, Gressel turns into a pile of ashes. The Ghost Rider reels in his chain, slinging it over his shoulder. With a whistle, his bike roars to life. With a flick of his wrists, hellfire bursts from his palms. The motorcycle transforms into a badass spirit chariot, and Johnny hops on, ready to chase down Blackheart. During the pursuit, Johnny hears a woman's cry for help. Turns out it's some punk with a knife, trying to pull a robbery. Johnny swoops down from above, scaring the living daylights out of the punk, and giving the woman a chance to bolt. As Johnny grabs the punk, he plunges a dagger into Johnny's shoulder, but when he pulls it out, the blade just melts away. Johnny activates his judgmental eye, peering into the punk's past crimes, and feeling the pain the punk's caused others. Then the punk is gone, and Johnny keeps chasing. As the sun rises, Johnny's in agonizing pain. Then he's back to his old self. He ends up at a graveyard. Carter Slay, the graveyard's caretaker, comes to his rescue. Carter knows Johnny's true identity and offers to lend a hand, but Johnny ain't having it. Over on the other side, cops got the streets locked down, investigating what happened last night. One of them digs up a license plate, and it's Johnny's. They haul him into the station for a chat. Johnny's staring down the cops, swearing he didn't off anyone, but the evidence is giving him the stink eye. The Ghost Rider gets tossed in the slammer, and the inmates decide to mess with him. They gang up on Johnny, but in the blink of an eye, he transforms and sends them flying. The prison's fire sprinklers kick into gear, but to Johnny, it feels like nothing more than a light drizzle. Slipping into his badass spiked jacket, he flicks his wrist, turns those iron bars into mush, and busts out of there. The guard on duty's jaw hits the floor as Johnny rides off on his chariot. The police station sign is sparking like crazy. They've thrown the whole damn force at nabbing Johnny. They corner him on a bridge, and just in that time, a helicopter shows up. Johnny sees no way out, so he just jumps straight into the river. But the river ain't putting out the hellfire. Johnny pops back up in no time, riding his bike like a champ on the water. This move leaves the cops dumbfounded. Blackheart catches wind at Johnny's, and sends Abigor to intercept him. The Ghost Rider barely parks his ride when Abigor snatches him up and slams him onto the car roof. Abigor makes a run for it, but Johnny's already caught the cops' attention. Those boys in blue are hot on his tail, but Johnny ain't playing by gravity's rules. Newton's rolling over in his grave. Johnny's scaling 30 floors skyscrapers like they're child's play, breaking all the laws of physics. Newton may not own Johnny, but his brother Ox definitely does. With the roar of his engine, windows shatter, leaving folks slack-jawed. As the helicopter swoops in, Johnny flicks his chain, locking down the chopper and leaving it stuck in midair. Johnny's got it in the palm of his hand, then he tosses it aside. Abigor tries to recruit Johnny, but Johnny ain't budging.
Time to clear the air.
Abigor tries to make a run for it, and Johnny grabs him with the chain. But how's he gonna catch the wind? Johnny adds some hellfire to the chain, and then it's spinning around in the air. Ghost Rider versus Abigor. Johnny snatches up his chain and traps Abigor, spinning him around 900 times. Abigor howls in agony, burned to fragments. Floating in the air, Johnny hits the ground, flames blazing in the wind. The cops swarm around him, ordering a barrage of bullets. His girlfriend spots Johnny immediately and tries desperately to halt the cops, but their guns are all out of ammo. Johnny remains unscathed. He conjures a wall of fire to hold off the police. Then he makes his getaway, leaving behind only flames on the ground. Blackheart witnesses it all and reaches for Johnny's girlfriend. By the time Johnny arrives, his girlfriend has been hit on the ground. Blackheart suddenly transforms, attacking Johnny and pinning him against the wall. In an instant, Johnny becomes the Ghost Rider, and the tables turn. Johnny activates the Eye of Judgment, but it has no effect. Blackheart has no soul. Blackheart grabs Johnny by the neck, forcing him to the ground. Johnny reverts to his human form. Blackheart threatens Johnny with his girlfriend, demanding Johnny go to the cemetery and retrieve the contract. Johnny drives to the cemetery and finds Carter wounded. Learning that Johnny is trying to save his girlfriend, Carter breaks the shovel, revealing that the contract is hidden here. Have you ever seen such a gorgeous transformation? Carter summoned his own horse, complete transformation. It turns out that Carter is the last generation of Ghost Rider, and the war horse transformed into a fiery war horse.
That's right.
Johnny transforms as well. Carter escorts Johnny to meet Blackheart. 2 generations of Ghost Riders galloping through the night. Lizards by the side of the road burned to the bone. Carter warns Johnny not to face the light, throws him the shotgun and leaves.
This is the end of the trail for me.
Johnny thanks Carter solemnly. Then he travels alone to the land of evil spirits. Blackheart sends the last one, Wallow, to intercept, holding Johnny underwater. Johnny keeps breaking free, but Wallow pushes harder and harder. Johnny is about to suffocate, but right at this critical moment, Johnny's fire is not afraid of the water, burning Wallow. Finally, the ultimate showdown arrives. Johnny demands that Blackheart spare his girlfriend, then approaches with the deed. Just as Blackheart touches the contract, the Ghost Rider transforms and lands a solid punch on Blackheart. The contract slips from his grasp, Blackheart sending Johnny flying with a powerful palm strike, but Johnny grabs a handful of fire from the ground and hits Blackheart with it. As dawn approaches, Johnny swings his chain at Blackheart, but Blackheart flings him into the sunlight. Forced to revert to his human form, Blackheart snatches up the contract and absorbing the souls of countless evil spirits. His eyes blaze red. Johnny whips out his shotgun and unloads round after round at Blackheart, but he remains unscathed. With his last bullet spent, Johnny tosses the shotgun into dark and summons Hellfire. The fiery blast engulfs Blackheart's chest, scattering his evil souls to the wind. Just when Johnny thinks it's over, the evil souls are regrouping. Blackheart resurrects. Johnny's back to Ghost Rider, activating the Eye of Judgment. He torches Blackheart with Hellfire, frying him to a crisp. His girlfriend's helping Johnny leave, but that mysterious old geezer makes a comeback. He's here to yank Johnny's Ghost Rider power. Johnny could go back to his normal life, but Johnny's not having it. He's keeping these powers to kick evil's butt. Then, the old dude morphs into a devil, slams his cane in a rage, and then disappears into thin air. And Johnny's ready to keep fighting the good fight against all things wicked. The film's called Ghost Rider. Now, here's a question for you. Is Ghost Rider one cool dude or what? If yes, hit me with a 111. If not, drop a 222. If you liked what you saw, go check out the original. See you next time. Bye.